good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good golly, Miss Molly. Welcome to Rowdies Live. We have a plethora of rowdies.
Yep.
What?
Full attendance.
We have a full attendance. Everyone will get the tick in their book.
Yeah, who's going to be room monitor? I guess that's you, Brian.
The library.
Yeah, Mark's in the library. Mal's in the study. Wilco's in the toilet. Where are you, Granny?
I'm just in my man cave.
It's a very nice report.
Yes, it's nice to see everybody, actually. It's the first time we've all been in one room together for a long time.
We've been in different rooms together. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the same space.
Same.
I'm glad you're all here. It's good to see you all. Welcome everybody who's watching on YouTube and Rumble and anywhere else we might be going out. We obviously have our fans, our favorites, our followers, Davina.
The diehards.
Andy, Dustin, who's watching and not joining today.
Andy.
Hello, everybody. Click the like button, share the stream out, all that good stuff. Hope you're all having a great week. So, gentlemen, yeah, I've got you all here. Mal, you've just been in the old stomping ground, have you not? Hartlepool.
I've just been up in Hartlepool. Yes, it was. It was Hartlepool.
Nice weather.
It was a celebration. It was my brother's birthday, so we went up there for a family get together. Very nice, you know.
Mark asked about the weather. The weather's always horrible in Hartlepool.
Yeah,
as soon as you drive up the hill, it's nice.
It was where we stayed. We came out the hotel room and the hotel front entrance the next day, and there was at least 6 pools of puke.
Making me homesick, Mal.
It's just like unbelievable, you know. You just people are still doing that, just getting so hammered they're just puking, you know, in the street.
Average
and we passed 2 more walking down the street. We passed 2 more.
Well,
unbelievable, you know.
You have to do something with those kebabs, don't you, when you've eaten them?
That's right.
At midnight.
Keep them down.
It was in the docks. It was in the marina area, which is supposed to be a bit salubrious.
Oh, you stayed at the Travel Inn?
No, not the Travel Inn.
I didn't know. Oh, there's another hotel just being built.
There's 2 there.
Yeah.
Right.
2 hotels in Hartlepool. 2
Wow, fantastic.
There's 3.
Go there.
Oh, the Grand Hotel has been renovated.
There's 4. We were.
I used to stay at the Staincliff when I used to go there in the 70s.
Yeah, well, I went there for a family do at the Staincliff.
Yeah. I mean, I got there once and it was a January. Hartlepool, the wind off the North Sea. The room was ice cold. You think they would have turned the warmth up in the room before we got there? No, the mattress was like a block of ice. I'm saying, couldn't you warm the room up? Ooh, it costs money.
Could have a blanket.
You're paying to be in there.
I know. That's Hartlepool, man.
Was it called?
I said to my wife, I said, it's a good job we came in the summer, you know, and not the winter, because it was like 4 degrees, you know.
Yeah.
Was it
summertime? Summer weather for Hartlepool.
Well, exactly. I mean, on that windy coast. But was it called the Staincliff, Granny, because you left a few stains there?
Well,
or was that
it was certainly was more stained afterwards. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, what's it? I mean, was there any monkeys being tortured in the streets?
Easy with the monkeys.
The simians.
You'll have the Bellevue boys around.
No, I had to go to Edinburgh the next day to find some.
Yeah, well, that was sheep.
The sheep.
Well, I'm glad you got back from your trip safely.
Yeah, and I'm going there again like a fool. I'm going there again in January.
Well, Hartlepool?
Oh man, you don't want to go there in January. Oh God.
I know. I'm just a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, you really
always have been, you know. 30 odd years on the road, you know, you're a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, Mal, if you're looking to save a bit of money, I can recommend Sconner's place. It's very cool to stay at.
No, thank you.
No.
Talking about gluttons for punishment, I've just come back from Germany doing a tour. Yeah. Which was fucking punishing, I tell you. It was not the best at most times. It was like 500k a day traveling, but the gigs were really good, and it was okay. Took a flight back from Berlin to Gatwick. That was fun.
Yeah.
And Gatwick Airport. So I've got back here absolutely fucking knackered. I've been spent a lovely couple of days with a girlfriend, just recovering. Absolutely fucking knackered.
Who's doing the driving, Mark, when you do that?
Well, we had a few mishaps with the driving. Martin does a lot of the driving. It's his van. He's the van man, But we ran into a problem. The tires were looking really dodgy on the way out there. So we booked it in to get a couple of tires checked. Had to replace all 4 tires. That's over €1,000.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, winter tires. And the guy said, "Oh, your brakes on the back are all knackered."
Of course they are.
And stuff. So then we had to book in the next day off into another garage and get the disc brakes on the back. No, this.
Life on the road. Life on the road.
It must be the roads in Europe. It must be the roads. It's 1972. I've got a diary with Van der Graaf generator. Every other day we were fixing tires and brakes. Must be the roads. Couldn't be the driving.
Yeah,
that's why you got to take trains.
I think trains would be a great idea if you could work it out to get the gear, get the support band to carry the gear or something. You get the band on a train, and
What's a train? What is a train?
Well,
we don't talk about trains.
Don't get granny going, for Christ's sake.
So you weren't driving. At least you weren't driving through East Germany, though. I mean, there was no communist
we ended up in
checkpoint.
Passau, which is, the routing was fucking horrible. It was
Passau, beautiful place.
Passau over to
old school touring, Mark. It sounds like old school touring.
Yeah. I mean, we passed Cologne 3 times.
How many times did you pass wind? How many times did you pass wind, though?
Yeah, right.
It's pretty grueling. But
I'm glad you made it back, mate. Are you off the road for a while? No?
Till Sunday.
Oh, you got another gig.
Yeah, wow.
A road dog.
So this is what work looks like. This is what real work is.
So yeah,
Anyway, glad to see you back, mate.
See, I'm obviously aging by the week.
Yeah, so we had an interesting show last week. Just a small crowd, but we on screen. But we were talking about movies and touring movies and roadies in the movies. And Wilco, you had a pithy comment to make about that. About what you think of them.
Well, I saw Roadies, and I got about 20 phone calls from Roadies going, "Wilco, you finally did it." And I was like, "No, I didn't." I said, "It's J.J. Abrams, the #1 writer in Hollywood, with Cameron Crowe, and it lasted 3 episodes. It was absolute shite."
Yeah.
And we all tour, we all do it. How many of us got on stage and put your arm around everybody and went, "Let's do it for Cleveland. Let's do it for Hartlepool"? As soon as I saw that, the first section, I was like, where are they going with this shit?
Too sentimental? Too sappy?
It was just pathetic. The writing was garbage. It had nothing to do with us at all. Then there was Sex and Rock and Roll with Dennis Leary. I think that lasted 1 season.
Yeah.
The writing on that was yet again garbage. And then, unfortunately, Scorsese and Mick Jagger with Vinyl. It was just, I don't know where these guys come from with this, especially
Mick Jagger. He's from the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Well, that's some experience.
He's been on the road, He has been on tour.
No, but that was out 5-7 years ago now.
He doesn't know shit now. He knows fuck all about it.
Hollywood thinks they know about what we all do, what we did, and they're clueless.
Yeah,
and
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, Cameron Crowe did that movie Almost Famous. He should have walked away and just.
Well, we talked about that last week. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pathetic, and
but
anyway, that's my thoughts. But I did see another good one, which was actually I enjoyed, and I saw the name of it. It was about the Fleetwood Mac stuff with Stevie Nicks and
the Daisy Jones thing.
Daisy Jones wasn't that bad. I'll be quite honest.
Yeah, we mentioned that one last week and played that little clip of Timothy Olyphant. And the thing is, a lot of these movies, he was great in it because he was a tour manager. A lot of them are from the perspective of the band, not the road crew. So, like, the road crew parts are almost like a stereotype afterthought.
Even the band connection, it's what they were doing and talking about was just rubbish. Hollywood rubbish.
Well, because every episode they've got to have a kind of a theme and a wrap it up, and it just becomes a Hollywood production. Can't really help it.
Yeah, but
soap opera.
So it wasn't so. I mean, the Roadies thing, they were trying to get the production manager, which was a chick, into the tour manager. They were both liked each other, and that was it. And it was like, it's just pathetic.
Hey, Wilco,
What?
don't say it doesn't happen.
Oh, I used to do.
It's just it did not work.
I used to do well with the catering women for some reason.
Hello.
I don't know what down to earth people,
Were you offering dinner for two? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
But just
He got candlelight.
He was doing, do you fancy Toad in the Hall?
That's right. Yeah.
I remember Granny getting dressed up in a waitress's outfit and actually getting the tray and coming out of the dressing room and going around the club when we were working with the white band. Fucking hilarious.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. I've got a picture somewhere.
Sorry, you're talking about a lot of cross-dressing was going on in the road crew?
Well, we did a gig in Florida, and the dressing room was like, this is when the white band were kind of struggling a bit, early 80s, and the dressing room was like a broom cupboard. So we just kind of struggled through it. And I was bitching and moaning, and some waitress said to me, "Oh, you think that's it? You should try doing what we do." I said, "All right, dress me up." Now, at the time, I had a load of hair and a beard. I ended up with a plunge neckline, form-fitting thing on, high heels and everything. And I went around the club serving drinks. I got tips. I ended up
a lot of tips.
I did. I ended up in the swimming pool at the hotel, still with the tray and the outfit on. And somewhere there's a photograph of this.
Gotta find it. That's funny.
Yeah,
that wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark,
we got better stories than the fucking movies, One
movie
I have been watching the last couple of days is the Beatles Get Back, which is like more of a documentary, really, but really good quality, film quality, and it's a real fly on the wall with the Beatles, which at the time when they were basically breaking up, they were rehearsing for a show or trying to do a show and a new album, and they were coming up with material. And I don't know if anyone's watched it, but it's
but they know they're being filmed, and that there's always a bit of play.
Well, to a degree, it's hammed up, but there's a lot of a lot of emotion there. I mean, the section where McCartney is, George Harrison has quit the band, and McCartney's still sitting around there, don't know what to fucking do, and to cancel the shows and stuff. It was really quite sad. Kevin Harrington's right there with a lot of them.
Kevin's in a lot of it, yeah, absolutely. No, I've got the whole thing, the Peter Jackson thing, and I think we could probably do a whole show about that ourselves one day. I've done some streams on my own channel, but it's fascinating because you're seeing the best and the worst of a band at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, they were just having fun at times, and all the rest of it, but it was all cracking at the bottom. Yoko Ono was sitting there like, am I going to split up?
Imagine the pressure having to keep topping your output, that kind of quality. Everything you did was under a microscope. Can you imagine the pressure?
Yeah, they
were
a bit
like Liverpool FC.
There's no pressure there. We all know their crap.
Digging up old songs. Big Tony and all those, dodgy sort of.
We forget.
Never mind the pop stars. Let's talk about the caterers.
We forget they were only in the
Kevin was there, and Mal Evans. They were there making cups of tea and stuff.
Cups of tea.
Bringing
the psychedelic drink of choice.
Bringing 8-track Studas in off the back of the van.
Yeah, it is a fascinating documentary of a band breaking up. In a sense, but you guys have been through it a million times, I'm sure. But let's talk about a couple of movies. I mean, you may have seen these movies or not. I'm going to show a trailer from one, and this is a British one, Still Crazy. The movie's Still Crazy with Bill Nighy, Billy Connolly, Stephen Ray, Timothy Spall. I got to share this video. Give me a second.
Timothy Spall is fantastic as the drummer.
Yeah, so this is I love this movie, but whether it's true to life or not, who knows? But that's what we're here to talk about.
Well, there's only two reasons to get you to haul your ass up here.
Well, aye, man.
Why,
Either
aye?
I owe you money, or you want to put the band back together.
They were called strange fruit.
Strange fruit. Been fruits a long time. So, which fruit's which then?
Well, I'm harsh fruit. And they were one of the greatest bands of the 70s.
You all hated each other in the end.
Oh, hate's a bit heavy. That was then. This is now.
How's business? Slow. The only thing I have of value is this.
What is it?
Jimi Hendrix's tooth. So you gave it all up for this. Don't tell me it hasn't haunted you. Money, hit records, being famous. We bollocks it all over again.
Does he still live with you?
No, moved away.
Where to?
Over there.
1, 2. Hello, Wembley.
God, it's neat of the living dead.
Well, maybe we should have prayed pigs. B flat. C.
You can find yourself another singer.
Pretty pointless reunion.
This was our second shot. Why couldn't you bury the past before it buried us?
But when the music still matters,
I want to stand in the dark and see an audience feel the way I do.
and the passion still burns,
I'm not 50!
you're never too old to rock and roll.
Hollywood Bowl. That was a great gig.
We never played the Hollywood Bowl.
That's one of my most vivid memories.
I love that line.
Yeah.
Wait!
So what do you want from me?
6.
Still crazy.
Sign this, please.
Sure, man. Best wishes to who?
I need a signature for the pizzas.
That's great. I didn't see Billy Connolly.
Yeah, that trailer doesn't show any Billy Connolly. He's the tour manager, the roadie, that comes back to do the tour for them. And I actually like that movie. I don't know. I know, Granny, you've seen it. I don't know if the rest of you have seen that movie before.
I have not seen that one.
I watched the trailer this morning while I was getting an oil change on my car. And I think Timothy Spall is fantastic as the drummer. And the music's really good.
Yeah, and I can't quite remember who did the music, but it's well, I'm sure Davina will tell us who did the music for it. But it's Dick Clement and Ian Lafreniere. Lafreniere wrote it, obviously. Were they Dad's Army? Or they did a lot of stuff back in the day. I really like it now, whether it's true to life or not, I don't know. But it's a 70s band trying to get back together.
I like when he says, I am not 50. No, you're 70 now.
That's right. The singer's gone missing, the original singer. He's a kind of a Gabriel-esque mystic, and they had to get a new singer, and that's Bill Nye. So there's always, everyone's always comparing him to the old guy. I just thought it was really a lot of funny. And Timothy Spall, you would think he would play the roadie, but he doesn't. He plays the drummer.
It's great.
Well, there's not too much difference there, with most drummers and roadies. They've got that mentality. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The line about, like, I always loved playing the Hollywood Bowl. We never played the Hollywood Bowl. It's one of my most vivid memories.
Right.
That must I mean, you must have some stories about that guy.
Oh, no, believe me, it happens.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be times where that happens,
Uh-huh.
Like, you're convinced, yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, can you put a light on? You're really dark.
We really want to see more of him.
Well, I don't want to see more of him, but he just looks like he's just too dark.
But I don't know if it's because it's a British band and there's a couple of Geordies in it. But yeah, I think I liked it. But it's still got that same script writing element. You can't avoid it.
Yeah. So apparently, because Davina's throwing up there, a lot of the music was done by, because Jimmy Neal had a career as a musician as well. Yeah. He did some of it, and Chris Difford. I see Difford there. I'm assuming it's Chris Difford of Stevies. Yeah. So, so the music was pretty good in it, but they're going around on their own bus. and there's a lot of scenes, particularly in the epilogue, where they're on the bus killing time. And one of the things is Timothy, they've got a competition going that you name a band with a body part in the name. So you would think like the Heartbreakers. Well, Timothy Spall keeps saying things like Jerry and the Pacemakers. So, I mean, that just camaraderie on the bus thing. I know you didn't always do bus tours, but that must be pretty similar.
Yeah, they were pretty intense.
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's a bit like that touring in the van in Germany. We got 6 of us sat in the van, you know. So you've got to have some banter and stuff, you know. It's probably the best time of the lot, you know. So fucking hedge. You know.
Oops, that's the next movie. So Davina's saying there's guys like Clive Langer and Jeff Lynne,
Jeff Lynne,
Russ Ballard. They were involved in the songs, you know. So pretty damn good. I love Bill Nighy though. I mean, I think this is one of his best roles.
He was also in another sort of pop music thing with a Radio Caroline thing.
That was good.
That's a good movie, that one. Yeah, that wasn't so long ago as well. It was maybe about 10 years ago.
10 years, yeah, that was good.
But Caroline was Radio Caroline and the pirate radio stuff was a big deal. I mean, I was a little too young to remember it, but you guys must have
still going.
Listened to some of those.
I don't know whether we could get it up in Teesside.
I think we might, because there's a gig in Scotland, just on the Edinburgh side there, that he do, and he does all his advertising with Radio Caroline. It's the only thing he spends advertising on. And he suggested we get in touch with them to do a Rock and Rowdy show.
Oh, that would be perfect. Yeah,
they were still going.
They were out in the North Sea, some of those guys. So maybe you did get them up
North Sea somewhere, but it must be a bit further north, up towards Scotland now, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, imagine not being able to play certain songs on radio in the BBC, which is virtually all you had, you know.
Yeah, but now you've got internet radio. You don't really have to be anywhere. But yeah, old times you had to have a receiver, transistor radio, or whatever. And I don't remember ever getting it personally.
What about? I mean, did you ever listen to Radio Luxembourg?
Oh, all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, I did.
Every Sunday.
Kid Jensen and guys like that were on it.
It probably had a really powerful transmitter, you know.
It did, but you could only really get it at night, though. I don't know that was because it was.
We used to listen to it. I used to listen to it on a Sunday night because they used to do a chart show, I think, on a Sunday night, Radio Luxembourg.
Well, I think we listened to them at night because at our house we didn't have our house, like we didn't have proper radio. We had a thing where it was piped in, and you have a little knob with 3 settings on it: BBC One, BBC Two, and something else. So you couldn't tune things in. So eventually
you had technology then.
Yeah, it was radio rentals. That's what it was. So eventually we got like a transistor radio with an earpiece, and then it'd be hiding in your bedroom because my dad came and unplugged it, you know.
Hence the term your radio rental, as in your mental.
Mental, that's right. It didn't affect me. Oh yeah.
If it was me, I hate being on boats. It would have been the sound of someone vomiting live on the radio.
It is online, and at 6:48 a.m. So yeah,
that's too early in the morning for me.
Yeah. So Mike, I just wanted to mention this. Kilohertz, yes, whatever that is. Yeah, I remember Michael Springer. Welcome to the chat, Michael. I remember.
Hi, Michael, my old son.
Yeah, Wood managed Checkered Past, and Steve Joni Jones was a handful. The Steve Jones of the Pistols, I'm assuming, is the same guy. It's the same Steve Jones, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, did you guys ever encounter any of the Pistols guys in the past?
I was in the States by the time that all happened.
States.
Yeah.
States.
Yeah, we kind of bypassed the punk era.
I would have fitted in, I think. I would have been right there with it. You know, laying in the gutter covered in vomit. Sounds like right up my street.
Gobbing
people. I think I would have fitted right in.
Salty. Hail to my friend Salty for joining us today. Good to see you, buddy.
Because I was a bit of a punk when we first went to London. I would like roll around in trash bags on Shaftesbury Avenue and stuff, pretending I was a down and out. Remember, Mal?
Yeah.
I think
so,
Granny lived in a trash bag.
I went through a very strange phase, Brian, when I got to London. It was like I was just unleashed. Because I don't want to put my dad down, but he was a control freak.
Yeah. I think burying the shaft
Not like Granny.
was probably
Burying
your
the
pastime.
Burying the shaft was very popular. Yeah,
That's a spitting image joke about Prince Andrew.
We all lived in McLeese Road, and Granny stood there, and there was this beautiful lady we brought back from the West End. And she looks at him, she goes, "I'm not sleeping with you until you get your wash." And he goes to the bathroom, toilet, and he comes back and he's washed his hands and his face.
and Mitaja.
And you can see the tide marks of where
She went
actually jumped into bed with him. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, I was.
But you know what's funny? I can't name it. I remember a name. But she ended up working for a well-established record company, and I had to go and have a meeting with her. This would be about 1990. I had to go and have a meeting with her. She goes, "I remember you." I go, "Yep." She goes, you were a lot cleaner. I said, "Oh, yeah." But she remembered me.
I grew up.
You scrubbed up nicely. Well, I mean, there must be. We all have in our lives encounters years later that we think, "Oh shit, did I actually?"
I've got
you guys being well traveled.
I was that way. I got let loose. I mean, I went doolally for a couple of years. I mean, and then again in the 80s with all my personal crap. But yeah, I've got it in me. I think I've got that loony thing in me.
You are a hobo. You know, even when you came here last year, you were sort of like trundling around town with your bag, sort of vanishing off to the beach or whatever.
That was cringe.
Yeah.
Head to the train station.
Ooh.
Yeah, straight to the train station. Yeah,
well, I came down there by train, could hardly avoid it. I get there and there's a steam locomotive. I'm not going to run away from that to see you.
Ignore that. Check it out.
So there's another movie I was watching not so long ago that entitled. There's multiple movies entitled Roadie. But this one is so if you think it's still crazy, is kind of like the British thing. This is the American one. This is the one Meatloaf stars in as a roadie with Alice Cooper, Wilco's buddy. So this is from 1980, and let's take a look at this and see the difference from an American perspective.
Roadie, starring Meatloaf as Travis W. Redden.
Good Cheap Trick song there in the background.
Winnebago.
You seem to hate him for some reason, the roadie.
Redfish can fix it.
Get me 2 beers and a hubcap.
Redfish can fix anything.
I need a Ford.
Why, he's the best roadie in the whole world.
The bands make it rock, but the roadies make it roll.
Roadie,
right
starring
on.
Meatloaf, Art Carney,
Hi, everybody.
Khaki Hunter,
Khaki pants.
She's trying to sleep with Alice Cooper. That's her thing in the movie.
You got the right idea. But I love outlaws.
Debbie Harry.
Blondie, Alice Cooper,
She's one of Charlie's Angels.
That's a good line.
Get him.
Roadie, the ultimate rock and roll fantasy.
He's a champion, the Ali of Roadies.
In a rock and roll car or a rock and roll bar, he's the closest thing there is to a rock and roll star.
Strange and wondrous tale, baby. Strange and wondrous.
Roadies. The bands make it rock, but the roadies make it roll.
Thank you very much and good night.
So the American experience. Have you ever been in a situation where a police car has hit something and turned over on its head?
You must have had that, Wilco. You must have had.
I stole a police car once, but you know.
Yeah. Well,
I stole it backstage and drove it back to the hotel because the limo driver was arguing with me, and I turned around, he got the band, and he took off. And I looked over, there was a cop car sitting there, so I went, okay, it was in Cincinnati. So I jumped in, and I was in the Cincinnati Reds that just won the Super Bowl. Not the Super Bowl, the World Series.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, so I just drove home, back to the hotel, got out the car, and I was going, yeah, we just had a car stolen. And I was just like, you know. But yeah, no, I've never seen a car turn over like that.
Apparently, it's mayhem and chaos at all gigs in the US, according to that movie. And so the key for there was that he can fix anything. So is that really true though? Can you really fix everything?
You have a go at things, you know. You take things apart and you hope you can put it back together again. Sometimes you fix them. Yeah, back as it's been in the Roadie days. Yeah.
Apparently, Roy Orbison was in that movie too.
Oh.
Yeah, but he gets to hang out with Debbie Harry, which can't have been all that bad.
Yeah.
Never met her.
But yeah, well, I guess it's a band you guys didn't encounter in your travels. But,
the nearest I got to Blondie, I worked with Frank Infanti, who was the guitarist. He was in the Divinals.
That's right. Yeah, you did work with the Divinals. So I've heard I've not heard any bad things about Debbie Harry ever.
And wasn't the bass player from Blondie? Wasn't he English?
Silverhead. Remember the English band Silverhead?
Yeah. He was such a, I can't remember his name right now,
like
but he used to hang out down Lots Road all the time. We used to,
Clem Burke, was that?
No,
that was the drummer.
No.
I like this. Meatloaf, pay Roadies more than the band.
Good
luck. Now here he is with the batteries, trying to power something.
Which is just
that happened on the ELO tour. The first one went on the spaceship, and the top raises, the back's in the middle. It broke, and all the roadies are freaking out. So what they did, they got all the batteries from the cars, and they put them all together. And it was like mayhem for about 15 minutes. You could hear the band screaming in the
to power the motors,
the motors to bring it up.
So that actually happened. Yeah, I've seen the movie of the spaceship going up the top of it. That must have been a bloody nightmare.
Oh yeah, I mean, but shit happens. Things happen backstage, on stage.
I had a flashback somehow. Do you remember, Mallet? We were doing a Wishbone gig, and I think the rear lighting truss came down. Did I?
Yeah.
I think that did happen, didn't it?
It did. They'd taken it was still up, and for some reason or other, they'd taken the stabilizers off at the bottom, the legs, and it was on a hoist, on a lift rather than hanging from the ceiling.
Right.
And it just crashed.
Imagine the sound of that.
Yeah.
It killed somebody.
As Davina says, a spaceship powered by lead acid batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Yeah, well, I guess Wilco verifies it, but
was the last from All Access.
Really know about fucking DC and electrics and fucking all that stuff and tapping into three-phase. I can never get into all that stuff, but some guys are really good at that type of shit. That keeps the band on the road. When your truck is broken down and in the freezing cold, you need someone who can get the thing running again.
But there were some blokes that were kind of clever with that stuff.
That's right.
They could sort of jury rig things and keep things running temporarily. There was some guys were better at it than others.
Yeah, Chris Rutsman was good like that. He knew understood electronics.
I mean, I'd done that ELO tour with the spaceship because I was working for Steve Hillage. And we were opening for them. I don't ever remember the spaceship not taking off.
That story came from all the lads from All Access.
Well, they're having trouble with some rockets now, aren't they?
Maybe they've done another tour. Maybe they've done another tour with it, but on that one, it took off. Or maybe we were gone off to do another show somewhere when it happened.
It was in the States.
That was such a contrast, ELO and Steve Hillage.
I don't know. Steve Hillage was pretty spaced out, so
Yeah, well, but ELO weren't.
I think there was a comment where we talked about Steve Hillage before, Mal, on a previous show. I don't know whether it was
they supported Wishbone on a German tour.
But someone left a comment that said they worked for Steve Hillage on that one of those videos that we did about him before. So when you talked to him, so I'll have to look back and find out who that was. So a fellow roadie that worked for Steve Hillage. So
on that tour, right? Okay.
Yeah, but he didn't mention the tour, but I did see ELO in 1980 or 81, and they still had a spaceship. I don't know if it was the spaceship, though. Maybe a less complicated one by then. Still a great gig, though. But the other thing about that movie, the other thing about that trailer was they're all attacking him like for some reason. He's in his Winnebago and they're all screaming, Roadie. So did Roadies really, did you ever have a situation other than the riots in Italy, of course, Gary, about where the crowd seemed pretty hostile?
Yeah, you get that sometimes.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Like towards the band and the crew, or just like
Well,
hostility to the crew?
I do remember having to leave town pretty quick on a few occasions, but I'm not quite sure why.
Well, it's usually with women. They'd be smiling at the guys get jealous because their girlfriends are looking at the singer or something. You're the last one there.
Leave them in the hotel room.
Yeah, I mean, there must be a few scenarios, guys. Come on, where you were playing. This is looking pretty dodgy. We gotta get out of here.
You know, with the average white band in the 70s, Mr. Grange, we had a riot in the Cobo Hall.
Right.
But that was the African Americans made that decision.
Gangs. That was the gangs.
There was a gang called the Errol Flynns, and the Detroit Police Department was on strike those 2 nights. So I arrived there, and I could just tell it's mayhem. I go backstage, I go on stage, and Granny's putting all the guitars on. There's about 20 African Americans on stage, and I went, Granny, don't put all the guitars out, get them off here. When the promoter, which was completely freaking out, didn't get any sense out of him. So I think we played, 3 songs, and I went, that's it, we're out of here.
They played everything like triple time. Pick up the pieces, get off.
And they were raping chicks, they were stabbing people.
But you know what the scariest, come to think of it, one of the scariest ones was we did some shows with Bob Marley in 1980. And the band was still really good at the time, but the audience, we went San Siro Stadium in Milan. That's the biggest soccer place in Milan. Barcelona, big places. They did not want any other bands on. The audience were nasty. I mean, really nasty. And that was a bit scared there. It was a horrible environment. And they have these, I think if I remember correctly, they got these nets they put up so people can't throw stuff at the stage.
I've been at gigs where bottles were getting thrown. Yeah.
Hypodermics. It was just a horrible environment. I remember, just couldn't. The band did the set in like half the time. Get the hell out. We did 3 shows. They were all scary.
That is
the Rastafarians.
Yeah. Well, it was just the bands themselves are cool, but the punters did not want anything between them and Bob Marley. Bob Marley, if you ever get Mark Miller on, he can tell you a lot. Bob Marley had this magnificent personality, hold on the people,
Yeah, Mark Miller's coming to England, by the way.
Right.
Well, Mark would make a great guest on this show and this channel. But that I've been to gigs where bands have been bottled. I mean, and it's the crowd in front get hit too. I mean, it's not just the band, And then, but as road crew, what do you do there? I mean, you're
yet again, Mr. Grange, we had that shooting in Louisville.
Louisville.
I mean, this guy just, we had 20,000 African Americans a night, and it was basically the guy walked up to him close to backstage, blew his head off, and he walked 10 feet backstage, and that was it. Went down. And Boston, Granny, you went with us then. I was arriving with the band backstage. This guy was firing a sawn-off shotgun at us. And our bodyguard, Jerry, he goes to the cop, "You're going to take him out?" The cop was like freaking, so Jerry just pulled his 357 Magnum and went boom. Just took his leg right off. I mean, he was laying on the bonnet of the car. I'll never forget it. And we walked in, the band and I were like, "Okay, no, we haven't even got on stage yet." You know what I mean? It was just out of control.
Yeah. The bonnet being, for the North Americans in the audience, bonnet being a British word.
Bonnet,
It's thrown out, you would think
bonnet between the boot and the
boot
windscreen.
We did a gig down in Texas. It wasn't the African Americans, it's just Texans and the way they are. And it was like with ZZ Top when they were just up and coming sort of things. And we were playing on the back of a trailer, Arctic trailer, semi-trailer, in a field. And the guy selling the fucking hot dogs was messing around with someone else's wife. So anyway, the guy came down and shot him right there while Wishbone were on stage. It was like amazing shit.
Yeah, what was that song they done about that, Mark?
Rock and Roll Window.
Yeah. Sorry,
What's going on there,
Cats
Mal?
has just appeared.
You need a
No,
little
it's not
privacy
even-
there,
it's not
Mal?
even that.
Got his pussy out.
He's got
Right.
his pussy with him as usual. Yeah. Were you ever run out of town by irate husbands or fathers? Or...
Nah.
I don't think so.
Nah.
Except if they were in the band. Irate husbands in the band, maybe.
Nah.
But, you know, this the
Don't
reggae
want to
thing,
talk
like
about it.
Davina saying on here, you'd think Bob Marley fans would be laid back and relaxed. You would. But even when I was with Dred Zeppelin was good fun.
Love them.
They were fantastic. I loved it. We did some gigs with Steel Pulse in the
Oh, I
early
remember
90s. We did Red Rocks Arena, a couple of other places. Same thing. They did not want anybody up. Maybe they thought we were taking the piss out of reggae. I don't know. But they were throwing like gallon jugs of water on stage, and they're heavy.
Jeez, yeah. I love it.
The same thing again. All this reggae intolerance.
It's weird because you think they would be laid back, especially as the ganja. But I love Dred Zeppelin too. We've talked about this a few days. Yeah, a great band.
You know, they were. I thought we could maybe take it to being a small theater thing with invited guests. I thought there was real potential for like a residency, but we just couldn't seem to raise it beyond what it was. But great fun. That was the last real rock and roll tour I did. I thought after that I had so much fun. It was so up my alley. I didn't want to just go out and be another number on the road. So that was like literally my last thing. But it's great fun. Loved every show.
I agree with Davina. I mean, why can't we just enjoy the music? It's if you don't like a band,
why can't we just
bar.
get along?
Why can't we just go to the bar if you don't like a band? That's what I do.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, got one more movie that we didn't talk about last week, which is also called Roadie, and it's not the TV show either. They just keep reading, no imagination. They keep
no imagination. At least we're Rowdies, you know.
Right.
Rowdy would be a great
difference. Movie. That's the subtle difference.
So this is an American movie, 2011 movie, which is taking a slightly different tack because it really is about the roadie, not about the band. It's Ron Eldard playing the roadie. It's actually a pretty good movie, I think. Or start.
Pretty good so far.
We were big. We did things, man. I was the best roadie you ever had.
The band fired me 2 days ago.
I gotta be on the road. I deserve an explanation. I think I'm gonna be spending a little more time in Queens than I thought. Mom!
I can't believe it's you.
I've done the same job my whole life.
My son, the rock star butler.
Oh, how you doing? How you doing? What's that band?
How you doing?
Blue Oyster Cult.
The OC!
Blue Oyster
Call
Cult.
for me.
I'm not too good at that. So you're married? You know her.
She's really good, man.
I can't believe you married her.
What, it bothers you?
Just like high school, right? Exactly. Liking that.
It's my turn to play now. For Jimmy.
Buzzkill.
Oh, where did you go, my sweet child? No, don't you play these games with me. I'm up and I fall inside.
All the women on the road, and you're still carrying a torch for me.
So blindly.
You're not here long, so let's share some old times together, okay?
For a time, but you weren't really mine, so you leave me here just bleeding.
What'd your mom think of you bringing a married woman up to your bed?
Through the snow.
You think you're better than me?
You don't know me, man.
I know all about you. You're a schlepper. Carrying other people, pretending it's yours.
Sorry, okay?
Toughen up. We're just talking.
We always knew you'd make it, that you'd realize your dreams. We always believed in you. I'm very proud.
So you can see he takes a very different tack from the other ones. It is more about him than it is about a band.
I think it's beautiful.
More personal approach.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie if you ever see it. It's a drama, really, more than anything else. But Ron Eldard's great. Bobby Cannavale is his rival, if you like, straight rival.
I mean, I went home. I don't think my dad ever knew what I did. He did 1989, 1990. He says, "What is it you do, son?" I said, well, I'm like a shop steward, Dad. I said, I get people to do what needs doing. He said, oh, okay. Like, what I do.
He liked that.
Yeah, he did. Because when I left home, he was a bit like, oh, you moaning and groaning. So I made a point of sending postcards from every fucking place. That's why I've got that collection. I was rubbing it in like, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
But it's a bit like the military. You can't. Things change when you go home. If you leave home, you go do something for a while, come back, things are different.
Yeah.
Is that how it felt?
A little bit. And me and Wilco went back once and we bumped into a couple of old pals and a little bit, where have you been lately? Oh, we just came back from Japan. Oh, well, hey, that's just a fact. So it didn't last forever. We've now pals with them all again, but we were probably full of ourselves. You can imagine 25 years old, he's been around the world with a rock band.
Well, that's what they say to him in this movie. Like, my grandson, the rock star.
Yeah.
Well, he's the roadie.
They don't know what he did. They don't know what you do.
Well, your parents do. They build it up, you know. So my mum used to keep a scrapbook of everything, you know, sort of like, you know, like really proud of, you know, what it was he was doing, you know.
Yeah. Well, our whole thing, I keep going on about our background and how somehow or other we all managed to do something, different degrees, different ways. But yeah, we came from Hartlepool and somehow or other, without all this drama, we just managed to do what we set out to do. So there's a story in there, Hollywood.
I went home once back to the pool and I was in a party and all of a sudden somebody walks up and gives me a guitar. And I went, where's the guitar case? And they're like, what do you mean? Play it. Like, I don't play it. I carry it. Yeah. I thought I was a guitar player. I was like, no, I carry this around the world. That's what I do. You know?
I had the same thing. I went back probably about 20 years ago, and there's this one bloke, Jimmy McKenna. He's a local writer and musician. He says, I don't believe after all this time with bands that you haven't picked up. You must be able to perform something. I said, I don't play anything. Not at all.
We had you singing last week on stage.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it was
that's
the Super.
But on this occasion, he was doing a gig at a rugby club in Westview. Mal will know it. And he said to me, I'm going to get you to get up and sing with the band. I said, I can't sing. I mean, he wouldn't have it. So he introduced me at the show. Says, we got this. He gave a whole rap about living in California, being around the world. And I'm like, he says, you're going to get up and sing the song with us, Money by the Beatles. I said, it's actually by the Isley Brothers, I think. Anyway,
yes,
he starts it off. So I thought, okay, he called my bluff. So I got up there and he started up. Of course, I got the intro wrong. It was like a false double start at the beginning and I got it wrong. And he looked at me. I said, I told you. And then I went into it. I did like the Billy Idol version of Money. I kicked fuck out of the drums, smashed the mic stand, I was cussing, give me some fucking money. I want your money and your pussy. And the people are like,
it should have been a punk band.
And then threw down the mic and walked off, and everybody was.
Oh, brilliant!
I was
dropped the mic.
Hold on, Mike. Hold on, Granny. I said, "There you go." He's like,
"I've never wanted a film clip more than I want a clip of that, Granny."
He's never asked me since. He's never asked me since.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I did like that. I did like this. Actually, we have this. Go on, then we'll do it again. Here he comes. Coming. Big moment.
Look at that.
The big moment.
The one with the big mouth. That's me. And I don't remember doing this at all. I have no recollection.
That's fantastic.
There's the caterer. See, me and my buddy, the caterer.
I will ask for the Yorkshire puddings.
Always make friends with the caterer. That's good advice. It's the same in the military. I
was never really. I mean, I love the musicians. I was never impressed with stardom. I was more like I don't know. I just seemed to get on well with like workers, you know.
So the other thing about that movie, the trailer we just watched, is he spent 25 years with Blue Oyster Cult. I mean, I guess the band didn't mind being used in the movie, and then they sack him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know what to do with himself. I mean, you guys, you kind of moved around a lot of different bands over the years. Maybe that didn't happen, but like,
no, it happened. It happened with me with the Average White Band. They took me out for Christmas '79 in New York City, and I'm like, all of a sudden I went, "Hang on, are you wankers firing me?" And they went, "We can't afford you." I went, "Okay." So I went back to Connecticut, told the missus, and I actually did sit there going, I know a lot of people, but in those days you didn't collect phone numbers. You know, you're traveling a lot. And then all of a sudden I get a call from Don Boo, and he's with the Allman Brothers. Hey, Wilkie, I mean, I'm talking about 2 days after this all happened. do you want to be the tour accountant for the Allman Brothers? I was like, yeah. The next day I was at the next gig in Boston, you know.
Well, some guys went from one tour to another without even skipping a beat. I always took time off in between tours. I wanted to enjoy my life. I'd get off.
Well, I was enjoying life on the road. I thought it was brilliant.
Well, so did I. But when I came off the tour, like,
I'd done 10 months with Genesis World Tour. 10 months. I got a job on the last day of the Genesis tour with Pink Floyd, and they said, can you be in Montreal? This was in Wembley, London, and they said, can you be in Montreal next week? I went, oh, can I have a bit more time off? They went, okay, make it 2 weeks. So 2 weeks later, I was in Montreal, and that was 22 months with Pink Floyd. So I had 32 months, you know,
just
constant.
All for £20 a week as well, Mal. I mean, that's
but I got free beer.
Free beer.
And catering. And
a hotel room.
We've seen the plane you flew on. That was pretty spectacular.
Yeah. Hey, you know, hey, Brian, I don't know if you jumping in. There's another movie that's not rock and roll, but it sums up exactly like it's a parallel universe to what we did when we moved to London, called With Nail and I.
Oh, I love
About
that
two
movie.
struggling actors. I mean, if you want to know, we could fit right in that. It was
the ultimate drinking movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
With
But
Neil
the whole atmosphere of the 1969 London, it's in that movie. With Nail and I.
With Nail and I, yeah. It's a brilliant movie. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So, hey, we could talk about that movie one day. Let's do a little reaction to that for sure. But that's it. Yeah, because that's interesting. You're talking about that time period in London. Yeah, same thing. So
it got really close to it, I think. Like going in the pubs and the Irish labourers at one end of the bar, musicians and diplomats at the other end. That was our pub, the Hand and Flower. It was incredible.
Richard E. Grant. Yeah, good movie. Yeah, so Salty Traveling Sea, my buddy. This is one of the great live streams in the history of YouTube. No BS. Thanks, buddy. And this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to give the real story from guys who were actually there. So we just need to get the word out there. More people to experience these.
We were actually there. We just can't remember.
Just can't remember it yet. But we do have photographic evidence that you were there, which we should probably share. I
love these sessions for me. You know, this is like therapy. You know, because it brings the memories back.
You said originally that you couldn't remember anything.
I can't.
We got a couple of minutes before we wrap up. So, Granny, you did share some pictures.
Oh, right.
We've never had a chance to show these, and there's a lot of them. We won't get through them all today, but tell us about this one.
Well, I think this was in Canada, right up your area, and that was the two Roadies at the back. I just was going through my little collection, and we were doing a tour supporting the Eurythmics. I think it was a band called Black. Colin Verncombe, he got killed on a motorbike about 5 years ago. But he was like a up-and-coming artist.
Well, he had a huge hit, Wonderful World.
It's a Wonderful Life, a Wonderful World, yeah. And they were pushing him, and this was just a shot inside the bus. This was the Dogs d'Amour. I don't know who the old boiler is.
I like the price of the gas.
As I said, I know. I was going to say, look at that, 96 cents a gallon.
Isn't that you, the old boiler? No.
Yeah. Well, that was my cross-dressing phase.
Yeah, the Dogs d'Amour.
See, the Roadies. See, what's funny is all the band have got leather pants on. All the road crew have the colourful shorts. They were all the Roadies. So it's like, the guy raising his arms there, that's Bam. That's the drummer, the one that was always cutting himself up and damaging himself.
Yeah. Were you not allowed to wear leather pants if you were a roadie?
There must have been some sort of division.
Dress code.
Yeah, the guy in the white hat, he's from Redcar, across the river from Hartlepool. He's the one that popped the cork and he put me out.
Oh, you mentioned that last week.
I think he runs a music shop in Middlesbrough now.
Yeah, you gave him a stern talking to.
I gave him a Hartlepool lecture. Yeah, I didn't. That was enough. This is Bad Company or something, I think.
87 Bad Company, yeah.
There was nobody in the band on the bus. They did their own traveling. It was the weirdest tour. The bus was full of golf clubs and kids' toys and stuff. It was weird.
Yeah.
This is the Dred Zeppelin tour bus in Europe. a big flight case. We had to put some of the gear in the bus. But like you said, great times. Sometimes it was really boring. Other times you'd just be chatting and rapping, and that was the sleeping accommodation.
How tight the sleeping is, yeah.
It was pretty comfortable, actually.
It would be,
Yeah.
like being in a pod. The stink must have been pretty bad.
All over.
Oh, it could smell. It could get but the bus drivers were supposed to like launder the duvets and stuff. That's in Japan. That's
Japan.
Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice picture, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not really a tour bus, but that's what you got when you were ferried around in Japan.
Nagasaki bus.
Yeah.
That was a hot bus.
That was very, yeah. Now this, I wonder if anybody could identify the animal on the sign. Can you enlarge it? I've never. What is it?
It's a bear. Oh, it's a monkey.
Oh, now I see it. The big monkey head. Yeah.
No,
it's a monkey.
Oh, now I see it. Yeah, I couldn't.
It got hung.
Because you're from Hartlepool.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No wonder you didn't see it.
That says Hartlepool underneath it.
It's a Frenchman.
It's a monkey. Yeah.
Do not enter.
They say life imitates art. Here we go.
So perfect.
That's brilliant. Your response. Yeah,
I could never make out the face of the monkey. Now I see it. Oh, that's funny.
That it could not be more perfect. That you didn't know.
Brilliant.
But we are Hartlepool.
We should tell people about the Hartlepool monkey story someday. Anyway, this is just the bus driver doing his thing.
Only.
You know,
there's a lot of these, and won't get through them all today because we're at the.
These are 30 years ago, so the tour buses now are deluxe.
One more.
That's the young. That was the one where the bus driver was cross-eyed, and so when you were talking to him, you weren't quite sure which eye to look at because you always think he was looking over your shoulder. And when he was driving, he had his head cocked to one side.
It's like that.
It would not have been on one of my tours, buddy.
It sounds like a Mel Brooks movie. It's like a Mel Brooks movie.
And the rainbow bus.
What mirror was looking
the
at?
Midnight Express, it says on the front there. Midnight Express.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I've seen that movie, Midnight Express.
God, yeah. That's a good train movie, isn't it? No, sorry.
That is classic.
Turkish prison. I do like that one. That's funny. I think that we're going to clip. I'm going to try and clip that monkey Hartlepool.
I'll scan it again. I'll make it bigger.
That's what they all say.
Oh, yeah. Boom.
So
it was a Frenchman. It was a monkey.
It was.
Yeah, right. It was a French house, wasn't it?
It was a good note to end on, gentlemen. Thank you very much for those tales. Thanks to everyone that's been watching and chatting. We had a lovely crowd. Andy, Davina, Salty, Lena, David, Glenn, Michael Springer was here, and then had to go look after the kids. Hey, Michael. And hey, Vinny Ward, various others. If I missed you, I apologize deeply.
Hey, Vinny.
But we do thank you for putting the role in rock and roll. Yeah, share it out, guys. This is one of our. We've had some fun streams recently. That was a good one. Yeah, thanks. We'll be back next week with more fun and games. Yet to be decided. And then I think the week after we might well do our Christmas special. I've been talking about. Maybe we'll just do it live. Or we'll talk about our favorite Christmas songs and our least favorite Christmas songs. Yeah, would be good.
Well, talking about Christmas songs, Shane McGowan died today.
From the Pogues.
Did.
Right.
Yes.
And also, Geordie died from the Killing Joke.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, Geordie died. The guitar player.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, don't jump off. I want to give you the update afterwards, okay? Take 2 minutes.
But thanks to you guys for sharing this stuff with us again. Thanks to the audience for being here. We will see you again next week. Till then, take care. Keep on rocking.